Today on Here for the Right Reasons, Becca, Kufrin, and Thomas Jacobs are engaged. Find out all the details about how she popped the question. Plus, did Michelle and Nayte call it quits?
Okay, I typically don't come on here and address these types of things, but because I received so many messages about it.
Find out what she had to say about the breakup rumors. And Kelly Flanagan spills all the details on her split with Peter Weber.
Peter and I had a lot of fun, but I don't know if I looked up to him in a way that I wanted to look up to my spouse.
Plus, Kendall Long tells us all about her new relationship and how she deals with the comparisons to grocery store Joe.
As soon as you introduce someone you're dating, everyone has an opinion, And so I wanted to make sure we had a really strong base and foundation before going public, because then there's people, wanting to compare, different relationships.
We've got that plus so much more in today's Here for the Right Reasons. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here with Us Weekly Senior Editor Sarah Heron, and welcome to another episode of Here for the Right Reasons. Big engagement news this week.
Big engagement news this week, a few relationship updates. Bachelor Nation never sleeps, as we always say.
But before we get into all the news, let's see what you guys had to say about last week's show.
Yes, this is a comment from Joanne, and she says, Wells has the funniest personality. He would have been great hosting VIP.
I agree.
I agree too. Hard to disagree with.
It's hard to disagree with that. I mean, we were talking about that last week, but at least Wells will still be there. So that's good.
Absolutely.
All right. Next one goes to Jossie M. Says, what? Who knew? Wasn't she on The Bachelor trying to win? The farmer, Chris's heart. No idea what to expect from this world anymore. Talking about Becca, announcing her relationship to Haley. So I guess a lot of people were surprised by this.
Yeah, I think, it's kind of fair, I guess. But at the same time, Crystal's season was how many years ago? A lot can change. People grow up, and things happen. And I'm just happy. I'm happy that they're out publicly, because I feel like she's been posting so much more and she seems so happy. And I just imagine that relief to not be worried about saying certain pronouns on her podcast or, posting more freely on Instagram. And I'm loving all the photos that she keeps sharing from JoJo and Jordan's wedding too. Mm-hmm. And Haley was there, and it's really sweet.
It really is. Good for them. So happy for them. All right. Well, let's get into our news of the week. And like we said, big news from Becca and Thomas. The two announced that they are engaged over Memorial Day weekend, with Becca writing on Instagram, in the ultimate plot twist, he said yes. We've been keeping the secret just between us and close family and friends for a while, but we're so excited to shout it from the rooftops. I finally found my chauffeur for life and the one who makes my heart smile every single day. I can't wait to do it all with you, Tommy. Thanks for making me the happiest gal alive. I love you to the moon and back. Well, he posted the same series of photos and said the ultimate Uno reverse card power move. You keeping me on my toes for a lifetime has a great ring to it. Cheers to forever, boops. Of course, they met while filming season 7 of Bachelor in Paradise during the summer of 2021. That their time on Paradise didn't really go exactly as planned, because she ended up breaking up with him. They got back together and, kind of proved everybody wrong.
They certainly did prove everybody wrong. I'm happy for them. It's always been an interesting one for fans, because we saw Thomas presented one way on Katie's season, then we saw him and Becca fall in love and on Paradise. And I think it's, a good reminder that we don't always get the full picture. And I just can't decide how I feel about the her proposing to him thing. Probably might get some hate for this, but I don't think I would do it. I know it's tradition and it's antiquated and it's ridiculous for us to say that she shouldn't be able to do it. I just personally probably wouldn't, but I do also get the side of she was engaged to Ari. She was engaged to Garrett. This is her way of mixing it up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's how I felt about it. That's she just wanted to kind of change it up a little bit. She's I'm going to try things differently. Maybe third time's a charm. Maybe I'll switch it up and see if it works this way. But yes, I don't think I would do it. But she felt secure enough in the relationship and felt that he was going to say yes. So, she must know something that we don't. And, they seem really happy. They've been together for almost a year now. Seems a little quick, but I guess when you know. But yeah, I probably wouldn't do it. I would love to know what everybody thinks in the comments. comments if you thought this was a full-on power move, if you would do it. But good for them. They seem really happy. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to sometimes disassociate the way that we saw him on Kody's season, and even a little bit on Paradise too. It's hard to know exactly who Thomas is.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I guess at the end of the day, all that matters is what Becca knows. But it's just like, yeah, from a fan perspective, it's an interesting one that we didn't, no one saw coming. And I would be interested. It's also like, I feel like there's pretty good odds on when you like break up on Paradise but get back together right after. Mm-hmm. I feel like those couples kind of go strong. And I think sometimes that might be because there's no pressure. Like no one even knows they're back together. Like the show ends, like they don't need to kind of, I don't know. I feel like they can date freely for a little bit before the show airs and then decide if they actually want to be like a public couple. Yeah. So I would imagine that that's one of the reasons these two are still going strong. But yeah, didn't see that one coming this weekend.
No, definitely didn't see that coming, but good for them. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Another engaged couple in Bachelor Nation, Michelle Young, our most recent Bachelorette, clapped back after she was filmed without her engagement ring, leading many fans to think that there was trouble in paradise for her and Nayte. The former Bachelorette posted a series of selfie videos on Instagram, putting the rumors to rest. Take a look.
Okay, I typically don't come on here and address these types of things, but because I received so many messages about it, there is a video circulating of me on a rooftop this weekend and not wearing my engagement ring. And what I will have to say is, to the person who was paying close enough attention to catch that moment, you also had to be paying close enough attention to see one of my good friends briefly remove my engagement ring to try it on and then place it back on my finger. Just a friendly reminder that Nayte and I, we are human beings, not a zoo exhibit. Not to mention videoing somebody without them knowing is creepy. It's not cool.
Guess, they just caught her at that split second when she took her ring off and gave it to her friend to try on.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, that must be so frustrating for Michelle and Nayte. And I think Nayte posted a video too. It's like every day he was just like, where's Michelle? Where's Michelle? Where's Michelle? Where's Michelle? I mean, it is like, I understand how frustrating that must be, but it is like kind of like the public relationship price to pay. So maybe, just don't try not to let it get to you. And when you post, and but that's also, filming someone without their consent in the 5 seconds that they weren't wearing the ring. Cause she said, I mean, this person had to have been there for both moments of when she put it on, put it back on, like clearly a stirring the pot kind of thing. Right. So not cool, but I'm glad they just addressed it too. Like, if it's going to bother them, put it to the rest.
Address it, move on, no big deal. I mean, if somebody was following me around and I never wear my wedding ring, so people would never think I'm married. So like people just, it's either you forget sometimes to wear it out, you let your friends try it on. It's really no big deal whatsoever, but people read so much into things. They really do. Like if you step outside one time, if you're in a public relationship without your ring, oh, you're headed for divorce, you're headed for a split. It's like, that's not real life, people.
It's definitely not, but that's why I think it's better that they just addressed it and like jokes about it. Like as annoying as it must be for them to feel like they have to address it, I think it's worse not to.
Yeah.
Because then this could have gone on for weeks. And then if it happened again, I don't know. Like, I just think it's better for them to shut it down. And I'm happy they're still together. I really liked them by the end.
Too. Are you surprised that they haven't moved in together yet?
I don't know, a little bit. Like one of the reasons I was rooting for them so hard is because they kind of were giving me that vibe of like, oh, like they're in it. And I don't know. I was expecting them to and kind of get married really quickly. Not that they should have to, but it was kind of almost refreshing for me. I felt like it was a Bachelor couple that was like doing what they said they were going to do. Mm-hmm. Again, they owe me nothing, but just for the sake of argument, I'm a little surprised, but then I also think that there's something to be said for, you're in your press interviews, you're all excited, this, then you like get to real life and you're like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, this is insane. We need to take a step back. We've known each other for 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So I see both sides, but I was expecting them to, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's talk about Kelly Flanagan because she opened up about her split to Peter Weber on the Talking It Out podcast with Brian and Mike Johnson. So take a quick look at this.
I guess I just didn't look up to Peter in the way that I have always hoped to look up to my husband.
What qualities do you look for?
Someone who's like super intelligent that could teach me things, like something new every day. I really
Aviation?
like,
Aviation?
Peter actually was really smart when it came to aviation. He used to teach me a lot. Like when we would go and fly around or whatever, like Peter is smart, but I don't know. I think I just need someone a little bit more serious natured.
Yeah, it just seems like Peter just wasn't mature enough for her. Just a quick refresher, Kelly competed for Peter's heart on his season of The Bachelor, which aired in 2020. Of course, I think she's finished top 4, but they ended up
5.
Yeah, 4. Yeah, 5. So, and then they ended up getting back together after the show, but they called it quits in December of 2020. It just, she's talked about their breakup before, but it just seems like he just wasn't on the maturity level that she needed him to be on.
Yeah, I mean, she's talked about him playing Pokemon cards before, and this was another way of saying that. So these two were definitely not meant to be. But I feel like because neither of them have publicly moved on with anyone else, it's like an easy go-to thing to ask them about. So it's definitely an interesting one. And I feel like there's still so much more that like we don't know and probably will never know about those two, because it was just like a wild time too, with like lockdown and Peter just being like such a messy bachelor, and Kim and Kelly like meeting briefly before the show. Like there were so many weird layers to it to begin with that I think that's also why it's kind of keeps coming back around every couple months.
Yeah. I wonder if she's still in touch with his mom. That's what I would really like to know.
I feel like she told me that like at first Barb loved her, and then by the end maybe Barb thought that Kelly was trying to like not change Peter, but like mature Peter in a way that Barb didn't think necessarily. Like I somehow doubt it, but I kind of see like Barb still like giving Hannah Ann some love or something on the side.
Totally. She's been quiet lately. Yes. All right. Well, let's get into our Bachelor talk, and want to revisit more of your conversation with Kendall Long because it was so interesting. I know that last week she spoke all about Bachelor in Paradise, but you also spoke about her boyfriend, right?
Yes, she has a new boyfriend. They've been together since late last year, and she opened up a little bit about going public with him and people like comparing him to Joe and thinking they look alike. And like she brought that up to me first, and I thought that was interesting because I don't know. I think that that's something public relationships I always have to deal with, and it's not a fun thing to navigate. But she was like almost brought up. I felt like to be like, I get it, everyone. Like I see it. So here's what Kendall had to say about that.
New boyfriend. Tell me everything. How did you guys meet? Everything.
So we met through a mutual friend. He plays volleyball in Hermosa Beach. And so one of my friends knew him through that. And we met at a pregame party before going out. And the first thing that attracted me to him was we were talking about alien life. And I was like, oh, there's potentially alien life on some moon off of Jupiter. And he's like, oh, Europa. And I was like, he like knew the moon. And we just immediately connected because of our interest in space. He's an aerospace engineer. And so yeah, that was kind of the spark that created where we are now.
I love that so much. I feel like your caption when you introduced him to Bachelor Nation was like a joke about things were weird and now they're weirder. And I feel like that was just like a cute little thing for you also to write.
Something that I really wanted in a partner is just curiosity, because he'll just bring up weird subjects and I'll bring up weird subjects. We could talk about them for hours. So the fact that he's curious really is something that I love about him.
Oh, and how did you decide when was the right time to, it sounds so silly, but to post on Instagram, to let the world in on it? Because coming from a show that is known for dating life, when you open that door, you can't really go back.
Exactly. So I have dated since being on the show, multiple different people, just, been out in the dating scene. And for me, what was really important is that I wanted to be in a solid place with somebody before I introduced them to the public, because as soon as you introduce someone you're dating, everyone has an opinion, and so I wanted to make sure we had a really strong base and foundation before going public, because then there's people, wanting to compare, different relationships. And luckily that hasn't been anything that's really affected us. There have been people trying to do that, but yeah, I feel really confident about our relationship currently and where we're going. And I feel confident in him as a person. So I just needed to have that before releasing him out into the wild, as it were. So
no, 100%. And I think you guys are at one of the Bachelor Live on stage. events. So maybe giving him a little taste of like the Bachelor fans and how it's like, how did that go? Was it like an interesting little thing for him to kind of see it in real life, like the fandom?
Oh yeah, he finds it funny. He hasn't seen any of the Bachelor shows, and he really wants to watch the shows with me, the ones that I was on. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to watch my seasons with you, because it's weird. Like, you don't want to see me kissing someone else or dating someone else. But it's fun. I mean, he's just really positive and kind of sees it as like a funny thing that I went through. But yeah, we'll see. The Bachelor fandom has been interesting. Everyone's been very supportive. So it's been really good. Better than I thought. I was terrified.
That's good. Yeah. It is scary. And obviously you were like part of a long-term relationship that fans root for, which is nice. But then it's like, okay, well, if they're moving on, I should be able to move on. And you said like the comparison, I think by nature, people just do that, whether they realize that like you're a real person and like you could read that. It's kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's just where the fans gravitate.
Yeah, it is. I think because last time everyone saw me, it was talking about my past relationships. So I think it's only natural to be like, well, this is who you were with. And so this is who you're with now. And how are they different? And how are they similar? And I've always found it so funny. Everyone keeps telling me that, oh, he looks just like your ex. I'm like, he doesn't look anything like him, in my opinion. But it's funny how people try to draw those comparisons.
Yeah, that is funny. Maybe you guys should watch Ari's season. I feel like that's innocent enough.
I told him I'd be open to watching that.
I love this conversation. I said that last week. She kept it so real and very, very interesting what went down.
Yeah, I really like her too. I think she's awesome.
All right, well, let's get into our social spotlight of the week and see which Bachelor Nation star caught our attention on social media. Mine went to Clayton because he posted some fun throwbacks of he and Susie, all the secret meetups before their relationship went public. They got some cute selfies, some shirtless Clayton action, them just lounging on lounge chairs, eating together. They seem like a really cute, like down-to-earth, normal couple.
They really do. I'm happy they're still going strong too. Yeah. I know that they did that road trip. I assume it's done by now, and they're living in the same town. Yeah. That's pretty huge. And I think their smiles and their goofiness speak for themselves. They're just like, they're having a good time and they're looking back at these, even the hard times, and now looking at them with fun stuff because all these throwback pictures. So I thought those were really cute.
Definitely. I feel them. I like them as a couple. I like it. What about you?
Okay, mine was really random, but I read over the weekend that people thought that Maddie Pruitt and her billionaire son boyfriend already broke up because they like were posting like nonstop after their launch and then like stopped. Uh-huh. So like another thing of like Instagram is wild and social media is wild because they just launched like last month. But they went from 0 to 60 and then back to 0. So people were confused. But then Grant, our guy, he took to the gram with a very lengthy caption about anxiety.
God, I'm like reading this right now. This is like a novel.
Yeah, he's nothing if not thorough with the captions. And there's a lot if you want to go read it, but there's pictures of him and his friends and him and Maddie. And he said, these people loved me today. They loved me and were there for me. They told me the truth. They reminded me that hope is not in this life, but in heaven. Find your people you can trust. Long story short, they're still together. He just has a little bit of social anxiety and she's there for him. And so is Jesus. And, had to share it.
Still, one of my favorite captions of all time is their announcement of their relationship. So funny. Yeah,
that was a special one. And I'll be checking in on these two for everyone else. So.
For everyone, yes, we will be doing the work for you. All right, well, that is it for this week's episode of Here for the Right Reason. Sarah, who is on the podcast this week?
I did a quick little catch up with Noah and Abigail. So another VIP couple that we saw break up, still going strong. So if you want to get a little relationship update from them, definitely check it out.
And keep commenting, keep subscribing, and we will see you guys next week. We're only 1 month away from time is flying. It is almost here, guys. All right. We'll keep you posted. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Hey everyone, I'm Christina Garibaldi, the host of Us Weekly Celebrity Coverage. Don't forget to hit subscribe for the latest celebrity news, tips, and video. And for much more content, make sure you head on over to usmagazine.com, the official home of Us Weekly Magazine.